I exposed my wife's affair in front of everyone on her birthday. I always thought the worst thing I could hear from my wife was, "We need to talk." I was wrong. Because last Thursday, I heard something else. Something that made my entire body go cold. We were at home, normal evening, or so I thought. I'd just come back from work, and she was in the kitchen on the phone. She didn't hear me walk in. Her voice was low, but I caught one sentence. "Don't worry, he'll never find out. I'll be at the hotel by 8. At first, I froze. Maybe I misheard? Maybe it was about work? But then she laughed in a way I hadn't heard in years, a soft, playful laugh, and whispered a man's name. Not mine. That's when something inside me snapped. I quietly stepped back into the hallway before she could see me, my mind racing. My hands were shaking, and my heart felt like it was trying to punch its way out of my chest. I didn't confront her, not yet. Instead, I smiled through dinner that night, pretending everything was fine, while planning exactly how I was going to find out the truth. We had been married for 9 years. 9 years of what I thought was love, trust, and partnership. We'd built a life together, our own little house, 2 dogs, weekend traditions of pancakes and coffee in the kitchen. I thought I knew everything about her. Then, one night, as I walked past the living room, I heard her voice. She was on the phone, laughing softly in a way she hadn't with me in months. And then I heard it. A man's name, one I didn't recognize. And after a pause, those 6 words that made my blood run cold. "Don't worry, he'll never find out." I froze in the hallway. My stomach twisted. I wanted to burst in and demand answers, but my legs wouldn't move. She ended the call quickly when she realized I was nearby, smiling too brightly, asking if I wanted tea. That night I didn't sleep. I kept replaying it over and over in my mind. Who was that man? What was she hiding from me? Over the next week, the little things began to pile up. She started locking her phone. She'd step outside to take calls, claiming they were about work. When I asked why she was coming home late 3 nights in a row, she said she was helping a friend move. But she couldn't tell me which friend. One afternoon, while she was in the shower, her phone buzzed on the counter. The screen lit up with a message preview. Just a heart emoji and the words, "Can't wait for Friday." No name, just a number. I didn't open it. I didn't need to. My chest was already tight, my hands shaking. That Friday, she said she was going to a late meeting. I decided to follow her. My heart was pounding so hard I thought she'd hear it as I trailed her car through the dimly lit streets. She didn't go to an office. She pulled into the parking lot of a small hotel. I sat there in my car, gripping the steering wheel, trying to convince myself there was some other explanation. But then I saw him. A tall man wearing a black jacket walking toward her. She smiled in a way I hadn't seen in years. And then, she kissed him. Right there in the open. No hesitation. I wanted to storm out, to scream, to confront them both. But instead, I reached for my phone and started recording. That's when I realized I wasn't just going to catch her. I was going to destroy her. That night, I couldn't sleep. Her words kept echoing in my head. He'll never find out. Who was he? And what exactly was I not supposed to find out? The next morning, I watched her closely. She moved around the kitchen like nothing had happened, making coffee, humming a tune. But every time her phone buzzed, she tilted it away from me, her thumb moving fast over the screen. 3 days later, she told me she had a late meeting at work. Normally, I wouldn't think twice. But that whisper in the kitchen, it had changed everything. I decided to check. When she left, I waited 10 minutes, then got into my car and drove toward her office. Except, she wasn't there. Her car was parked 2 blocks away, in front of a small hotel. My chest tightened. I sat in my car watching. Minutes crawled by. Then the hotel's front door opened, and I saw her. She was smiling, but it wasn't the smile she gave me. Walking next to her was a man I had never seen before. Tall, well-dressed, and far too comfortable standing that close to my wife. They didn't see me. They crossed the street, got into his car, and drove away together. I followed, My hands were gripping the steering wheel so tight I could barely feel my fingers. They stopped at a quiet restaurant on the edge of town. I watched them through the window. He reached across the table, took her hand, and she let him. She even laughed at something he said, the kind of laugh I hadn't heard from her in months. I wanted to burst in there, demand answers, flip the table if I had to. But I didn't. I needed more than just a scene. I needed proof. So I waited. When they left, I followed them again, back to the same hotel. I parked where they couldn't see me. And then I saw them walk in together, holding hands. They didn't come out for over 2 hours. By the time she came home that night, I was already there, pretending to be half asleep on the couch. She smiled at me, kissed my forehead, and said she was exhausted from work. I smiled back, and that's when I decided, if she thought I'd never find out, she had no idea what I was capable of. Over the next week, I became an actor in my own life. I smiled when she came home. I asked about her day. I even made her favorite dinner on Thursday night, all while tracking her every move. I installed a small GPS tracker in her car. She never even noticed. I bought a tiny audio recorder and slipped it into the lining of her purse. And every evening, when she went to take a bath, I copied every file from her phone onto mine. The more I listened, the more my stomach turned. I heard her tell him things she hadn't said to me in years, that she felt alive again, that she couldn't stop thinking about him. And worst of all, I heard her call him love. The GPS showed me her patterns. The hotel wasn't a one-time thing. Every Tuesday and Thursday she left work early, met him at the restaurant, and then disappeared into that same hotel room. By now I had pictures, audio, and a map of her lies. But proof wasn't enough for me anymore. I didn't just want to confront her. I wanted her to feel what I felt: betrayal, shock, humiliation. So I made a plan. I knew her birthday was coming up. We had plans to go to dinner with friends, a nice big group of people she knew well. Perfect. On the day before her birthday, I sent her a message from work. I can't wait to celebrate you tomorrow. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. She replied with a heart emoji and a photo of herself smiling in the car. I checked the GPS location. She was at the hotel. Again, that night, I stayed up late preparing a surprise for her big day. I transferred the photos and recordings onto a flash drive, along with a neatly edited video showing exactly what she'd been doing behind my back. And the next evening, when the waiter came to take dessert orders, I stood up and smiled at the table. I actually have a little something for everyone to see, I said, pulling out my laptop. Her smile froze. The lights dimmed slightly in the restaurant as I connected my laptop to the small screen they used for menu slideshows. At first, the video was harmless, a slideshow of our wedding day, our honeymoon, moments with friends. She was smiling, relaxed, thinking this was just me being romantic. And then, the screen changed. The photos shifted from our memories to the ones I had taken from her secret folder. Her with him at the restaurant, her hand on his arm, them laughing in the park. And finally, the two of them in that same hotel room, her face inches from his. The table went dead silent. Our friends stared at the screen, then at her. She went pale, her lips trembling. I can explain, she stammered. But I cut her off. No, you've already explained everything without saying a word. I let the video play. The final part was audio, her voice telling him she loved him, laughing as she said she'd figure out a way to leave me soon. Gasps went around the table. Someone muttered, "Jesus Christ." She grabbed my arm, whispering frantically, "Turn it off, please, I'm begging you." I looked her in the eyes. "You didn't beg me to stop when you were doing it, did you?" I stood up, unplugged my laptop, and walked out. I didn't wait for the check. I didn't care. She followed me outside, crying, grabbing at my sleeve. "We can fix this. Please don't end us like this." I turned, my voice calm. "Us? That ended a long time ago. You just didn't notice." I got into my car and drove away, watching her shrink in the rearview mirror. That night, I blocked her number. I blocked her on social media. I emailed her the divorce papers 2 days later. And the best part? Her Daniel never stuck around. I heard through mutual friends that he ghosted her the same week I left. Poetic justice, I guess. So tell me, was I too harsh? Or did she get exactly what she deserved?